So I've been weight training for about the last 20 years. I'd say I've been working out a little bit longer than that because in high school I did a lot of sports. I played baseball, basketball, I did all those things. But specifically dedicating myself to weight training, I would say is something I've done for the past 20 ish years. I started when I was around 20. I'm 41 now. And one thing that I really learned in this process is that weight training really builds your mind as much as it builds your body. I think it's important for us to acknowledge that because so often we just work out thinking about how is this going to affect my health and my physique, which of course are important, and there's no level of dismissing it or diminishing it. Those things are important. But we can't dismiss that it's going to build your mind, build your character, build your resilience, your tenacity. And these are the things that I've noticed when I talk to other people who are trying to work out and are having a difficult time gaining any traction and leverage regarding consistency that they're dealing with. So many people will say, I could go for 1 or 2 days and then I stop working out. I stop for a week. I stop for a month, or they have issues being consistent with their diet. These are the things that get built up over time. This is the muscle actually that gets stronger and stronger when you make sure that you just keep on going to the gym. And if you can learn to be on the other side of that, the other side of those odds that people can't seem to get over, then you're going to find that it just gets easier and easier. I'm someone who's always believed that if you could find a way to go from a deconditioned person, someone who doesn't work out, someone who doesn't have a lot of energy, who doesn't have a lot of endurance, to somebody who's fit, in a lot of ways, you can do anything, right? It's a great way to test yourself as a human being and know that if you could accomplish this, you could almost accomplish anything. When I was managing health clubs, I can't tell you guys how many times I would speak to the owner of a health club who himself wasn't fit. We're talking about a person who got a great education. They're disciplined enough to get their education. They were smart enough to make intelligent business moves. They were disciplined enough to see this business grow and operate all these facets of the business, things that most people find extremely difficult for good reason. These are accomplished people. But one thing that they wouldn't be able to do is work out and get in shape. I remember specifically one gym owner who would avoid any situation where somebody else would pull him in to work out. And I get it, it could be uncomfortable for some people, but his thing was, as the manager of a health club and a personal trainer drags him in and says, hey, I want you to take this class, and he would be embarrassed because he was seen as the person who, in a lot of ways, was our leader, right? It's more than a boss. It's more than a manager. We look to these people to guide us in many different ways, even if it's subconscious. And he would be extremely uncomfortable being in those type of situations because he knew it was a weakness of his. He knew it was an area that he couldn't thrive in. I looked at the statistics out of curiosity, and 1 to 3% of adults in this country are millionaires. Or, excuse me, 3 to 5%, excuse me, 3 to 5% of adults in this country are millionaires. Only 1 to 3% of adults in this country have a six pack. And I thought that was interesting. And no, the goal of working out is never to have a six pack. A six pack is cool, but they come and go, they go in and out. This isn't the influencer, lifestyle thing where you have to have a six pack year around to tell other people that they need to have a six pack. In the real world, I never find that it works like that. But it just goes to show in some facets, and I know there's a lot of variables here, but in some facets, it's almost as if it's easier to become a millionaire than it is to grind it out and get a six pack. So always keep in mind that you're going to gain something out of your fitness process no matter what. If you're lifting weights every day and you're just not seeing the results that you wish you were seeing, don't think that you're not gaining anything from that action. You're gaining something. You're gaining discipline. You're gaining consistency. You're gaining this value of being able to get up and do something even if you don't want to. You're gaining this value of working through discomfort, not the discomfort of just going through the gym, but the process of working out when our body is sore and our body is tired, but we get up and do it anyways. These things are extremely invaluable. They're only going to benefit you in the long haul. There's nothing to be lost from getting up, going in the gym, and working out. Eventually, you're going to be consistent, and the only thing you're going to need to do is tighten up your nutrition. I know this was me in my 20s. All I did was go to the gym, lift heavy weights, but I would eat whatever I wanted to, right? And fortunately, my body was a little bit forgiving. I didn't get too overweight, and I mean that in a technical sense, not as a judgment for anybody who's in a different space in their life. I didn't get too overweight. And then when it just came to the chance where all I needed to do was just tighten up my nutrition, the fitness part was already there. And then I started getting a better physique, and I started seeing more results. And as I mentioned in another video, for anybody who's, struggling, find a way to see results, because once you see results, you just start taking off because you know that the process that you're doing is working. That's what so many people need to know, is that what you're doing is working. So understand, if you're not building your body through your workout, you're always going to be building your mindset. People vastly underestimate the effects of working out and your mindset. There's actually a very good documentary on Netflix, and I forget the name of it, but if you look up Jonah Hill on Netflix, the documentary will pop up. And it's about him and his therapist and their journey. And one thing that I found very interesting is Jonah Hill is somebody who had a pretty dramatic transformation. He lost, a lot of weight in the past few years, and he was discussing the fitness routine with his therapist. And his therapist was saying that one of the things that people don't understand about working out is that it's actually one of the best things that you could do for your mental health. From his perspective, he wasn't talking fitness, being able to run for a mile. He wasn't talking about physique, having a six pack, having muscles. He wasn't talking about any social benefits that come with that. If, Jonah Hill is looking for somebody to date, like, I don't know if he would need a, physique for that. He's a big celebrity, but either way, none of these metrics that the majority of people will think about when they are thinking about what is to be gained from fitness and exercise were mentioned by him. He said the number one reason, this is the therapist, the number one reason that somebody should work out is to improve their mental health. So let's just keep that in mind. No matter what we're doing, no matter what we're seeing or not seeing, you're definitely gaining from this process. So if you're on that journey yourself and you've experienced anything similar to this, would love to know what you think. Share a comment below. And if you like more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.